Hello everybody. Uh, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Dawn. I don't know if you're new here. Who knows? I'm very bad at introducing myself and telling you to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. I'm very bad at it. But every so often, I think about it. So welcome. And today I'm going to do another card from this Tangles deck. If you want to look at it, that's what it is. Here's the back. Here's the tanglespeak.com. There's the UPC code if you want to look it up. I find them very pretty. They seem to be helpful. I don't know. They're sort of like tarot cards, but I don't do tarot, but they're also tangle cards. So, you know, we're just picking cards at random. I'm going to mix them up a little bit. I've already done a few. Those are in a different pile, so I don't do the same one again. We're just going to mix them up. And we're going to take one randomly out of the middle. That's the one I'm going to do today. Should we do more than one? Nah, we're just going to go with one. All right, this one is called Flogo. And it says, Flogo invites you to go with the flow. Fighting the natural flow of life results in difficult lessons and unnecessary obstacles. Well, ain't that the truth? Flow is not about allowing things to happen to you. Flow is about deciding what you want in your life and being in the flow with the opportunities created from your decision. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Well, I don't believe it's the universe. I have different beliefs, which is why I'm not using this as a tarot type deck. But I do believe that, fighting with the natural flow of life is just an unnecessary thing to do. I find that when I just follow my gut and my instincts, things go better for me. And so that's how I'm going to interpret this. And this last sentence about the universe conspires to make it happen. I truly believe that if you are not fighting against what God's plans are for you, and I believe that God has many plans for you, many plans, and there are many different ways you can go, and that God gives you the opportunity to go whichever direction you want, as long as one of those paths is the way He wants you to go. I believe I know this is a completely off-topic thing, but I believe that some people have a very rigid way of looking at life for how they believe God predestines your life. But I believe you're born here, okay? And I believe God has all these paths and opportunities for you, and perhaps some of them overlap, okay? This is where you start. And you can come to any of these junctures and end up in a good spot. I think the only time you have troubles is when you get to a juncture and you go the opposite way God is leading you. When you decide that you want to go this way, this is where difficulties and burdens and horrible things happen. But when you allow God to choose one of these multiple paths, there's not just one path that God wants for you. There's multiple paths. But if you allow in this way, then things go much better. And I agree with that. So, anyway, philosophy over. If you want to skip ahead, I'm going to try to remember to put a thing that says skip ahead to 5 minutes in if you don't want to hear my rambling. So let's look at this pattern, Flogo. It's getting really hot in here. I'm going to open a window. If you hear noises outside, it's because my husband's working out in the yard. But it's too hot. I need some air. Okay, opened a window. Apparently it is a brick-like pattern, which is not completely unique, but different than some patterns. So we're going to draw these bricks, right? Rectangular shapes in every other one with a space in between. And then inside this brick, we're going to do little circles. This is kind of hard to see. It's very small. That's better. We're going to do that. And then we're going to aura it looks like, right? So it looks like that. And then if you want to, we can put these little dashes in between each brick. Kind of depends on how far apart our bricks end up. But there's the flow go. So it's go with the flow. And, oh, goodness sakes. My microphone just leaped off my head. Pardon me if that's very loud. I have to fix that. My battery pack just jumped out of my pocket and then yanked my whole thing right off my head. Stop that. Let me make sure it's still on. Give me a second. Yep, it appears to be still on. Okay. Let's go with the flow on one of these pages that I did with watercolor. Pardon me, had to cough. Try to keep you away from that being too loud. Let's do it on this page because it's pretty. I like it. Let's zoom in. Get me a pen of some sort. You know what? I think I'm going to do it in red. Red? No, not red. I think I want to do it in gold. No. Orange. I'm going to do it in orange. I haven't used these Sharpie pens in a really long time. I need to use the thing. You know, if you don't use your supplies, they just dry up. So use them. And that's the bad thing about getting overbuying supplies, is that you got all these wonderful supplies, but you can't use them all at one time, and then they just go bad. So don't hoard your supplies. Just use them. Another rant of the day. Okay, so I'm going to do a border. Oh yeah, orange is good. I haven't drawn in orange in, I don't know if I've ever drawn in orange on this channel. It's been a long time since I've used the orange pen. Beautiful. So we're going to make rectangles. I'm going to start, actually, I think I want to go this way. It feels like it wants to go this direction. Kind of goes along with what my husband's doing out there. He came up to me and he sheepishly said, I put in some more patio pavers. It's like, you do whatever you want to do. I don't care if we have more patio pavers somewhere. But he made an area with patio pavers for the barbecue to sit on. I mean, it's a great idea. He came up to me like it was like I was going to have some sort of issue with it, but I don't have an issue. I'm making these sort of rustic, if you note. I'm not being overly precise with them. Just like that. Turn it the other way. It's easier for me. Always put your paper in a direction that is most beneficial to you and being ergonomic. Don't make it so you twist your hand or have to sit funny or any of that kind of thing. You want to make sure that you are comfortable when you draw. So if you need to turn your page, turn your page. I'm not really leaving a lot of room in there to put those dashes. I don't think I want them, to be honest. But we'll see. How's life going for you guys? I forgot to bring my calendar back out here again, which I tend to do. And so I don't know when you're going to see this video. So I don't know if I can wish you a happy something. Think you're going to see these in May, or are you seeing it in June? I don't remember. So could be wishing you a happy Father's Day. I don't know. I seem to be rather forgetful in bringing my calendar back out when I bring my camera. I don't know why. There we go. Bricks. You could just leave it like that. That would be a perfectly fine pattern. But apparently this one needs to have a flow. So I'm going to start in the middle. And we're going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to go around like that. There's room for 3. So I'll just do 3 as I go. Just like that. Like that. So should I do a question of the day from my book? Sure, why not? Give me a second to finish this one. And if you could spend 1 year looking for one thing in the world, what would you search for? I think I did that one already. If you had written one song from this century yourself, what would you like to have written? Oh, I did that one too. I remember that. If you could have been told one thing that you weren't told when you were a teenager, what would you like to have heard? Ooh. What advice would I like to have heard as a teenager? Would have liked to heard you are perfect just the way you are and you don't need to change for anyone. I was constantly trying to be different people. Like, I don't know, the whole trying to fit in when you're a teenager thing is a tough road, isn't it? And trying to navigate that world of feeling like you never fit in, that you want to be in the popular group. but you'll never be in the popular group because you're not that popular. And then, when you get older and you somehow become friends with people who were in the popular group, like I with reunions and so forth, I have become friends with some of the people that I thought in high school were the popular ones. I've become friends with a beautiful woman who was a cheerleader and was on the drill team and was on the beauty pageant scene and all of that, right? And now as an adult, she's no different than I am. And she tells stories of how she felt inadequate as a teenager. And it's like, how could you have been inadequate? You are one of the people I looked up to and I wanted to be. And yet she felt like everybody else. And that's something that I think would have helped me out a lot as a teen, to know that even the popular people don't feel, everybody feels like they don't fit in when they're a teenager. It's what you do, it's how you feel. You always feel like you don't fit in as a teenager, and sometimes it continues as an adult. You feel like you don't fit in. But you know what? I've learned that I did fit in, and that I have found that even within my group, there were those who thought I was the cool one because of my the abilities that I have. And I didn't think that any of the things that I did or had or said mattered. So, you matter. You do. People who you think have it all together don't. And that's okay. Because that's what life is a journey of people who don't have it all together, doing the best they can with what they have. It's much better to be a good person than a rich person or a smart person. Much better to be a good person. I suppose this happens everywhere, but I lived in a town that was relatively affluent. Especially, I moved when I was in fourth grade from a town that was not affluent to a more affluent town. So I really noticed a big difference. And so I always felt inadequate because we were quote unquote poor. Even though looking back at it, yes, we had our struggles. But when you look at it in the scheme of the world, there are very few people overall in the United States that are poor in comparison to many other countries. And there are countries where people live on what's the equivalent of $1 or $2 a day here. And here people waste more than that on stupid stuff or just, dropping change on the street. And there are countries where people, that's their entire, what we spend on one spend on breakfast or on lunch or one beverage, for that matter. What we spend on one beverage is what they have to live on all day or sometimes even all week. We are just so blessed here in this country, and we take it for granted. We do. We take it for granted. And the older I get, the less I take things for granted. I don't take my health for granted. I don't take my income for granted. Are there others around me who are better off? Absolutely. And in the United States, we spend too much time comparing ourselves to those who are better off. We need to appreciate and be joyful for the things we do have. Okay, go with the flow. I like it without the little dots in between, so I am not going to put the dots in between. I may fill in these dots, though. I think I want these filled. The middle dots. Why? I don't know. Just what I want to do. It's very mod. I think from the 70s. Watching a series of shows on the BYU channel. Look it up. It's called The Fixers. Maybe this is, well, I know that's where my feelings of feeling super rich are coming from, because they are going to some of these countries where, wow, look at how different that looks. You fill in that and it looks like a different pattern. That's kind of cool. I think maybe I will just do half. Do this row and then see what I think. I may just leave them half and half to show that, you know, just doing one small thing just changes the whole look. Anyway, I was saying we're watching, it's called The Fixers, and they go and spend a week in some place that needs their help, and they build stuff. They build buildings, they transform spaces, and they help people get a leg up in their communities. And it's a pretty awesome channel, or little series. Well, the channel was pretty awesome too, but okay, that looks cool, and I like it with that. Oh yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? I enjoying it, and I recommend it. There we go. Flogo. That is today's pattern. Hope you guys had a great day. Ask that you do something nice for someone else today. Help the world be a better place. And I will see you on the next video. Got to go to work tonight, so I need to stop here because I am out of time. I got to get ready for work. So I will be back drawing something tomorrow. I don't know what. Meanwhile, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.